Welcome to Lesson 15 of Latin for Beginners, in which we talk about the ablative denoting with. I'm assuming you're coming to this video as part of the Latin for Beginners course, but if you're not, and you're curious about the course, you can find more information in the video description and at selfstudyclassics.com. The ablative case is not completely new to us. We have seen it used with the prepositions in and cum since Lesson 6. This lesson looks at a few additional ways in which it may be used. As usual, we explore the concepts in the lesson with some translation exercises. The first is lesbia est cum servis ancilisque in caro. Let's break it down into phrases. Lesbia est. Lesbia is a proper noun. It's a woman's name, and here it is in the nominative case. Est is the singular form of the verb to be. It agrees with its subject, lesbia. We translate the phrase as lesbia is. The next phrase is cum servis ancilisque. Cum is the preposition meaning with. Servis is a noun from the base meaning slave. Here it is in the ablative plural form. For the first exercise in this lesson, we are reviewing the use of the ablative that is familiar. It is the ablative that is used in combination with the preposition cum to express accompaniment. The slaves are with lesbia in a physical sense. Ancilis is also an ablative plural form. Don't be confused by the que at the end. That's an enclitic, a particle at the end of a word. This enclitic is a conjunction. Servis ancilisque is synonymous with servis et ancilis. Notice how the accent shifts to the syllable before the enclitic when an enclitic is present. Together, servis and ancilis form the compound object of cum. The base of ancilis is ancilla, which means maidservant, so the complete phrase is with her slaves and maidservants. As is often the case, the her is not explicit in Latin, but implied. The last phrase in the sentence is in caro. In is the Latin preposition meaning in. Caro is the ablative singular of the base carus, which means cart. It is the object of the preposition. So the phrase is in a cart. All the phrases together come to lesbia is with her slaves and maidservants in a cart, which we can rephrase if we like to lesbia is in a cart with her slaves and maidservants. Now let's try this one. Nautae validi magno cum studio ad fluvium maturant. We'll start with nautae validi. Nautae is a nominative plural form of the noun nauta, meaning sailor. Even though it is first declension, it is masculine. Validi is the nominative plural of the adjective validus, meaning sturdy. It is attributive and agrees with nautae, so the phrase is the sturdy sailors. Next, we have magno cum studio. Magno is an adjective in the ablative singular form from the base magnus, meaning great. Cum is the preposition meaning with. Studio is the ablative singular form of the base studium, which means eagerness. This is an example of the ablative of manner. Studio can be understood as the object of cum, but cum here is optional. Also, note the peculiar placement of the attributive adjective, magno. It is outside the prepositional phrase. This is a common construction with the ablative of manner, when the adjective is one that expresses degree. It might seem familiar if you ever heard the term magna cum laude to describe a diploma granted with great distinction. So, magno cum studio, or even just magno studio, without the cum, means with great eagerness. It is an adverbial prepositional phrase and expresses the manner in which the main action of the sentence is performed. The next phrase is ad fluvium. Ad is the preposition meaning to. Fluvium is the accusative singular form of the noun fluvium, meaning river, and is the object of ad. The phrase, then, is to the river. At the end, we have maturant. This is a verb in the plural form to agree with the subject, nautai. The base is maturat, which means hastens. So putting it in the plural gives us hasten. Putting the phrases together gives us the sturdy sailors with great eagerness to the river hasten. We'll rearrange that to sound a little better and say, the sturdy sailors hasten to the river with great eagerness. Now let's look at the sentence, Copiae telis duris armatae sunt. The first phrase in the sentence is just the word copiae. This is a noun that has a different sense in the plural than it does in the singular. In the singular, it means plenty, but in the plural, it means troops. Here it is in the nominative, so we translate it as the troops. Next, we have telis duris. Telis is the ablative plural form of the noun telum, meaning weapon. Notice that even though we have an ablative here, there is no preposition. As will become clear a little later in the sentence, this is an ablative of means, which is generally found without a preposition. Duris is the ablative plural form of the adjective durus, meaning harsh. It is attributive with telis. When you see an ablative of means, manner, cause, or accompaniment, it is generally safe to translate it as a prepositional phrase using the preposition with. That's why this lesson groups all of these ablative uses under the general category of ablative denoting with. So this phrase becomes with harsh weapons. At the end, we have armatae sunt. Armatae is an adjective in the nominative plural. The meaning is armed. Now we see why the ablative of manner was used. It was used in an adverbial sense to modify an adjective. It describes the way in which someone was armed, with harsh weapons. Now, sunt is a verb in the plural form to agree with the subject copiae. It is a copula that links copiae with the predicate adjective armatae that describes it. So the phrase armatae sunt is are armed. When we put all the phrases together, we get the troops with harsh weapons are armed, which we can reorder to read, the troops are armed with harsh weapons. Okay, one more. Iam multi sunt infirmi in opea aquae. First, let's take the word iam by itself. It's an adverb, which means now or already. We'll use now in this context. The next phrase is multi sunt infirmi. Multi is the nominative plural of the adjective meaning many, but here it is used substantively. We do the same thing in English. Instead of saying many people, for example, we might just say many. So here it's a noun. Sunt is the verb to be in its plural form to agree with the subject, many. Infirmi is an adjective in the nominative plural. It is from the base infirmus, meaning weak. Here it is a predicate adjective describing multi, and linked to it by the copula sunt. So the phrase is, many are weak. Finally, we have inopia aquae. Inopia is a noun in the ablative singular from the base inopia, which means lack. It is modifying infirmi by giving the cause that explains the description weak. So the cause is a lack. aquae, is the genitive singular form of the noun aqua, meaning water. As a genitive, it has an of relation with inopia. Technically, this is a genitive of material, but if it's simpler for you to think of it just as an of relation, that's fine. So translating the ablative of cause and the genitive of material together, we would get with lack of water. And that's intelligible, but not really idiomatic English. So I would substitute words that are more expressive of causation, such as due to, for with. That would give us due to lack of water. The combination of all the phrases is now many are weak due to lack of water, which doesn't really need any reordering. That is all for Lesson 15. If you would like some practice with various ablatives denoting with, head to the practice section of selfstudyclassics.com and choose Lesson 15. Then turn your attention to Lesson 16 of Latin for Beginners, which introduces very common and useful irregular adjectives. If it isn't yet available, it should be coming along very soon. Thanks for watching.